When Warren Buffett was just 19, he picked up a book that he says completely changed the trajectory of his life. To this day, he calls it the single best book on investing ever written. So what on earth is in this book? What are these secrets that are so timeless?
Now, let's be clear, this isn't some get-rich-quick manual with secret formulas. Benjamin Graham's masterpiece, The Intelligent Investor, is way deeper than that. It's really a philosophy, a mindset for building real, lasting wealth without going crazy in the process.
So to get us started, Graham introduces this absolutely brilliant character to explain the stock market's wild personality. Imagine you've got a business partner, and we'll call him Mr. Market. The thing about Mr. Market is, he's a little moody.
On a Monday, he might burst into your office, just ecstatic, telling you your business is the best thing he's ever seen. He'll offer you $1 million for your share, a price that sounds almost too good to be true.
But then, just one day later, he comes shuffling in, looking like his world has ended. He's totally convinced your business is doomed and offers you a tiny fraction of what he offered yesterday, pleading with you to sell before it goes to zero.
Now, if a real person acted like this, you'd think they were nuts, right? You'd probably tell them to go grab a cup of coffee and chill out. And yet every single day, millions of people hang on the stock market's every mood swing, fueled by scary headlines and crazy hype, as if it's some all-knowing oracle.
And this just perfectly captures Graham's #1 point. Mr. Market's emotional roller coaster isn't there to tell you what to do, it's there for you to take advantage of. When he's panicking, that's your chance to buy great stuff on sale. When he's greedy, that's your cue to be careful. You use his emotions. You never, ever let his emotions use you.
This leads us right to the next huge idea, a difference that, honestly, almost everyone gets wrong at first. Are you actually investing, or are you just gambling?
See, investing is all about doing your homework, calmly looking at a business, and making sure your money is safe while aiming for a decent return. It's a calculated process. Speculating, that's just chasing hype. That's buying a stock just because the price is going up, hoping some other guy, a greater fool, will pay you even more for it later. That's not a plan. That's the slot machine.
So this is the mindset shift that changes everything. A stock isn't just a ticker symbol. It's a tiny slice of ownership in a real business, a business with actual people, products, and problems. So before you ever click buy, ask yourself this one simple question. If you had the cash, would you buy the entire company? If the answer is no, then you're probably just speculating.
Okay, so once you're thinking like a business owner, how do you protect yourself from all the curveballs life is going to throw at you? This brings us to what might be the single most powerful idea in the entire book, the margin of safety. Let's think about it like this. Say you're an engineer and you're building a bridge, and you know for a fact that the absolute heaviest truck that will ever cross it weighs 10,000 pounds.
So here's the question. Do you build that bridge to hold exactly 10,000 pounds and not one single ounce more?
Of course not. That would be totally insane. You build it to handle, say, 30,000 pounds. That giant buffer, that extra capacity, that is your margin of safety. It's what protects you when things go wrong, when there's a calculation error, or just from plain old bad luck.
It's the exact same idea when you're buying stocks. You do your research, you figure out a company is really worth, let's say, $50 a share. But you don't buy it at 50. You wait. You wait until Mr. Market has one of his meltdowns and is willing to sell it to you for $30. That $20 gap, that's your margin of safety. That's your cushion in case you got something wrong.
All right, this next rule is so interesting because it basically forces you to be honest with yourself. Graham says that if you want to succeed, you have to commit. You have to choose one of two very different paths as an investor. There's no in between.
I love this analogy. Think of it like your fitness goals. The defensive investor just wants to stay healthy. They go for a jog, lift some weights, pretty simple stuff. They're not trying to be a world-class athlete. The enterprising investor, though, they want to compete. They're in the gym for hours, they've got a coach, a strict diet. It's a serious commitment. Both strategies are valid, but the place you get into trouble is trying to be somewhere in the middle.
For almost everyone listening, the defensive plan is the way to go. It is simple, it is proven, and you know what? It's beautifully boring. You just buy a piece of the whole market, like an S&P 500 index fund, you put the same amount of money in every single month, and then you just let it go. Let time and the magic of compounding do all the hard work for you. You don't need to be a genius, you just need discipline. And this all leads us to the final, and without a doubt, the most profound lesson of them all. After all the spreadsheets and all the strategies, Graham says that the biggest threat to your financial success isn't a stock market crash. It's you. It's the person looking back at you in the mirror.
I mean, Graham couldn't have been more clear about this. Your success as an investor has almost zero to do with your IQ. It has everything to do with how well you can control your own emotions. It's that impulse to panic sell or to greedily buy into a bubble. That's what will destroy your wealth, not the market itself.
And you just have to look at history. It proves it over and over again. The dot-com bust, the 2008 meltdown, the pandemic crash in 2020. In every single one of those events, the people who panicked and sold got crushed. They locked in huge losses. But the people who stayed disciplined, who mastered their fear, were the ones who came out ahead. The lesson is crystal clear. Panicking is always, always the wrong move.
So let's just tie it all together. These aren't just 5 random rules. This is a complete system. It's a framework designed to protect you from all the noise out there, and more importantly, to protect you from your own worst instincts. You use Mr. Market. You think like an owner. You demand a margin of safety. You commit to a path, and above all else, you learn to be the master of your emotions. That's the blueprint.
Because in the end, it really does just come down to this. Mr. Market is always going to be crazy. He's going to be moody, unpredictable, and totally irrational. That part is never, ever going to change. So the only real question left to answer is, will you be?